One of the biggest things we hear from people when they start working on their nutrition is protein, struggling to get enough protein. And we're here to say it's really not that hard. I know I was getting 180 grams a day with ease. And you and I were talking the other day actually about we have to be careful not to overdo it because it's so easy to like overeat on protein because we like it so much. Now I know a lot of people may not be in the same shoes as us there, but we don't have to cook elaborate meals or meal prep all weekend. We can make this extremely simple, and that's what we want to do in this episode.
Yeah, sometimes I'll surprise myself. I'll look down and my numbers are like, wow, like I got like 250 grams of protein. Now, to be honest with you too, though, it's not like if you looked at my day in review and you'd be like, wow, that's the most amazing like lineup of protein ever. Because I do some of it does come from processed foods. I get like a protein bar, a protein powder, and those aren't bad, but ideally that's something I want to work on myself is like I love protein powder. I think that's great. I think it's a great way for me to start off the day. But sometimes throughout the day, I end up relying a little bit too much on like a protein bar or I found these protein donuts that taste really good. And so like yes, I'm getting a lot of protein, but even I can work on like getting a better quality source from that protein as well.
Yeah, and I think that's something we see with a lot of clients as well. They're like, "Yeah, I'm getting protein." I'm like, "You're having 5 protein shakes a day. What?" That's not what we're going for.
Yeah, and now and I love it. The big thing out there now is everyone in the world is adding protein to their packages, which
Yeah,
you have to be careful because some are legitimate, some are, 10 grams of protein, which is not great protein, or it'll just be crappy sources of protein.
and
But
other added stuff in there too that affect your gut and everything else.
exactly, yeah, you eat too much. I mean, if you have a few protein bars, yeah, you might be getting 50, 60 grams of protein, but you may also not feel that well. Your digestion might be, a
Yeah.
little off. So, and I think the other thing is too, a lot of people, and this is me in college. I mean, I think my roommate and I'll tell you a funny story real quick. My roommate and I would buy so much grilled chicken or chicken breast, I should say, that we were going to grill, and cans of tuna. We would like load up, especially like when Kroger had like deals on tuna. We'd get like 100 cans each, and we'd be pushing this like cart, and people would just like stare at us. And I mean, this old lady came up to us one time and said, she kind of peeked in our car. She said, "Do you guys have cats? What's the deal with the tuna?" We're like, "Oh no, we don't have any animals. We're just protein baby."
Gotta get these gains, man.
Right. So I think a lot of people, when they associate, I need to get more protein, and when we're talking about like whole food sources, they think chicken only, right? And they think like chicken or rice, and they have to do that all the time, and it's kind of bleh. It doesn't taste that good, and they just eat it to get the protein. But there are a lot of different ways you can get 40 to 50 grams of protein. A lot of simple ways that don't take that long. So that's what we're going to do this or today, I should say, kind of break down some of the easiest ways of doing that. And then we're hoping that you guys use this as kind of like some different ideas to rotate through, especially when life gets really busy or short on time, whatever. You don't feel like cooking, and instead of just grabbing something from fast food or just grabbing something that isn't that great for you or lower in protein, just because you have to and you haven't been prepared for it.
Yeah, I feel like we could talk about protein all day and like there's a million different ways we can do it, but I feel like this is just a fun way to break out. It's like 10 ways to get 40, 50 grams of protein in less than 10 minutes. That's kind of like the basis of all this. Obviously, there's a lot of other things and recipes and stuff that we can get into at a future time, but I think this will be a good takeaway for people.
And to be honest with you, we might get a little excited. We'll probably give you more than 10 ways,
Oh,
but
yeah. Why are we like this?
yeah, right. I know, right? Oh man, that's the best. I mean, come on, gotta love it. Okay, so let's just kind of do a little review. Like, why is protein so important? Why do we hear it everywhere we go now? Why is everyone putting on the packages? Well, basically, one of the biggest things is satiety, right? It helps us to feel full. So we have a meal that's high in protein. We don't have those cravings later on in the day, and that helps us prevent snacking or overeating other things that we shouldn't be eating. Maintaining muscle, right? That's one of the biggest things that one, you're going to look a lot better. Two, you're going to speed up the metabolism, which is going to help you lose weight, right? So that is very important in building muscle. And then also stabilizing blood sugar. Especially when you eat protein first, it's going to stabilize that blood sugar throughout the day, and you're going to have less crashes or less cravings. So most people trying to improve body composition or just feel better overall, getting enough protein, and And when I say getting enough, not the standards of, everyday American, the standards of what the fitness industry says, right? It's one of the biggest levers that we can pull. So, again, it does not have to be complicated. It shouldn't be complicated. We want it to be easy. So, yeah, we're going to give you tips for that. And then I'm going to start off with a bonus tip. One of the easiest ways to do this is simply take whatever amount of protein you're eating now, because if I had to guess, most people are eating between 15 and 20 grams of protein per meal, if that much.
Mhm.
Take that and double it right away.
Yep.
If they just eat twice as much of that chicken breast or of the lean cut of beef or whatever else or whatever protein source they're eating, double that, and you're probably getting close to 40 to 50.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like that's the number one place to start. And then two, I think it's important to mention in general, like we want to be aiming for a gram of protein per pound of body weight, or if you're have some weight to lose, then it's going to be closer to 1 gram of protein per pound of lean mass. So just something to keep in mind as you guys are trying to dial in protein. So starting off with our first simple way to get 40 grams of protein, Greek yogurt bowl. It's the best. Take like 2 cups of plain Greek yogurt, already gets you around 45 grams of protein. Sometimes I see people adding in protein powder or nuts and berries. Like you can spice up the toppings with whatever you want or whatever sort of like style you want. You can make it sweet or savory too, I'm sure. And like easily you're at 50 grams and takes 2 minutes. Delicious. Like my standard is always like Greek yogurt bowl and just fruit. So good. Like it tastes like ice cream. It's amazing.
It really is. Like you said, it's so easy. And like you said, there's so many different things you can add to it, whether it be like sugar-free pudding, you add that, mix it up, and it tastes amazing. Or fruit is obviously the preferential choice, probably, just in terms of taste. Honey, I think sometimes honey gets such a bad rap because it can easily get really high in sugar. But I think it's amazing, like if you try the least amount that you can with the biggest bang for your buck flavor, then I think you realize you don't have to put a whole lot of honey in things and it gets really sweet pretty quick. So there's a lot of things you can add to it, a lot of things, and there's recipes all over the place. But right away, you're getting a huge amount of protein. So good for you, so filling. And I mean, it can be any time of the day, whether it be a breakfast item, a snack item, end of the day item, a dessert item. Sometimes I'll do stuff like this for dessert.
Mhm.
Put a little chocolate chips in there or something like that, and just a few, and you're rolling.
Yeah, or even like if you don't have time, okay, like there's no reason why you shouldn't have 2 minutes to throw it together, but it's like if you're on the go, literally they have like pre-made like high protein Greek yogurt like with 25 grams like per little tub. So it's like really no excuses.
Yeah, I tell you, the Oikos and the other, there's some other brands too that, but I love those, and they're like 20 grams of protein. A lot of times, what I'll do, and especially, here's the thing too. Going out to eat, sometimes people are like, oh, I had to grab something. I was on the go, whatever like that. There's been times where I had to rush from like a workout to my daughter's dancing or something like that. And it could have easily been, hey, I need to stop by a fast food place, whatever. I'll stop by like a local Kroger or Publix or something like that. I'll grab two of those Oikos 20 and I'll grab a spoon from their little cafe area and I have 40 grams of protein right there. And it
Mhm.
tastes phenomenal. And then I'll have dinner later, but it's such a big boost of protein and it tastes amazing too.
Yeah, so next one is gonna be protein shake, smoothie. We have creamy in here too. Now, like we were saying, we want to be getting protein from mainly whole foods, but it's like when you're in a pinch or need something that's super quick or when you're on the go, this is gonna be one of the fastest tools that you have. Obviously, like a scoop away is generally around 25 grams of protein. So it's like if you have a milk base or you do 2 scoops, that's easily like 50 grams of protein. Or you can make it into a smoothie with like some fruit, some PB2, milk or coconut water, throw Greek yogurt in there too. Super easy. Again, takes less than 5 minutes to throw together, and that's an easy 50, 60 grams of protein. And then creamies. We've been on the creamy train, which is like basically it's like a protein shake but in ice cream form. So that's another option too.
Yeah, and protein powder has always been a staple of my diets. Pretty much every morning I have some kind of meal based around my protein powder. And like you said, I'll usually do 2 scoops. So I'm getting about 50 grams of protein every morning to start off the day. I used to have a shake every single day. I think we worked it out and it was like 30,000 shakes or something that I've had in my life. And then you introduced me to the creamy. and that thing was amazing. So, and then I discovered protein coffee, and I've been doing that. And so I'll kind of mix it up. Like this week, actually, I've had one of each.
Mhm.
So, I love it's so easy to do, and it's so versatile. You can even actually add a little bit of protein powder to Greek yogurt, and
Mhm.
it tastes really good too. So there are a lot of different ways that you can add, or that I'm sorry, that you can use protein powder and get a lot of protein in the morning or
Yeah, you
anytime.
can just throw it in like your pancake mix or throw it in oats to make it high proteins. Yeah, lots of options with that.
The other option too is having it at the end of the day when you have not gotten your
Mhm.
protein amount that you want to get in, whatever you need to get to, use that in your shake and you're done.
Mhm.
All right, so eggs. I think we're finally over the fear factor of eggs, right? There's one point.
Man, I hope so.
I think we've gone over that. I think everyone's like, yeah, eggs good. So whole eggs are fantastic. We've talked about this before how nutritionally dense they are. However, if you eat too many, you're going to add up a little bit of fat, and so if that is a little concern, you can buy a carton of egg whites, and you add a combination of whole eggs, egg whites. You're still getting all those nutrients. Plus, you're getting a bunch of protein that is basically fat free. So you can add that up really quickly, get about 40, 50 grams of protein. And again, you can make that a lot of different ways. You could, do a little omelet with it. You could just do it by itself. You could throw a little bit of cheese in there, or throw a little turkey or ham or something like that, and super quick and super yummy.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think egg whites are so underrated. A lot of people forget that like you literally just get a carton and pour it out, and you can like mix it into other recipes and other things too, or like make an egg bake or something like that. And again, this like it takes what 5 minutes or less to scramble up some eggs and egg whites. So it's like no excuses on that either.
Well, and if you want to make it even simpler and quicker, in college sometimes I would do this. I would mix it all up, and then I would put it in the microwave.
Oh really?
And it doesn't taste as good. However, if you need something super quick, boom, it's done. You eat it up, and you've got a lot of protein. The other thing too is I think breakfast is where some people get have issues with getting a lot of protein in. You don't have to necessarily have eggs every day, or you could even add a little bit of eggs to something else, like non-traditional breakfast foods, whether it be steak or beef or chicken sausage, things like that, or from the night before, type of thing. So don't think, okay, what am I gonna have breakfast? I have to have something like breakfasty. That's just
Mhm.
something that our society made up. You can have anything you want for breakfast.
Hmm. I know. I think it's funny how we settled on that and like we're able to have literally cakes and pastries and donuts and cereal for breakfast. Like that's what we're supposed to start the day with. But if you think about having a steak, people are like, "Oh, what?" But you're gonna have that later in the day, a few hours later, and it's totally fine. It just doesn't make sense.
A little too much for me. Hand me that big old cake with a hole in it. Yeah.
So next one is like rotisserie chicken wrap. This is one of the easiest like no cooking meals. So grab a pre-cooked rotisserie chicken, 6, 7 ounces. That's 40, 45 grams of protein. Grab a wrap or tortilla or lavash wrap is super good too. And I think that one has like 8, 10 grams of protein. Throw in some veggies or a quick sauce or something. And it's a super quick meal. Or I know you mentioned too, like canned chicken or just there's lots of pre-made proteins at the grocery store. Like go to Trader Joe's, they have all sorts of different like chickens that are already flavored, seasoned, cooked. It's the same at like Publix or whatever your local grocery store is. So super easy to throw something together.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually just having a conversation with Josh. Shout out Josh. About if you go to like Whole Foods, they actually have, and there's other places like this as well, but they'll have a whole like meal prep section basically, like all
Mhm.
these pre-cooked like chicken breasts and vegetables and things like that. And order as much as you want, and they'll put them in containers, and basically you take it home and you just separate them out, and you have meal prep done for the whole week.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
All right, cottage cheese, baby. I know everyone talks about it, but it's got to be one of the most underrated protein foods, even though everyone keeps talking about it. I love it. I use it in so many different ways. Um, by itself, my favorite by itself is add a little bit of pineapple. I think whatever the combination is, it just tastes amazing. Again, you can buy them in big buckets, you can buy them in individual sizes. So easy to do, add a little fruit to it, and you're done. It doesn't even have to be freshly cut fruit. You can grab it out of a can. But I've liked, or recently, what I've been doing is been adding it to all kinds of things. I've made soup out of it. I have made my staple now for lunch is chicken or tuna salad, and basically I'll put tuna or chicken. I'll add cottage cheese, all about avocado, and tuna ground chicken by itself is kind of dry. You put that avocado and cottage cheese, and it makes it so creamy and it tastes so good. So it is another versatile staple in my diet, high in protein, and so many different ways you can use it.
Yeah, I there's a million different recipes out there for high protein stuff that involves cottage cheese. So yeah, I can definitely take advantage of that. Or again, just like if you're in a pinch, need something super quick, just throw it together.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people look at cottage cheese and like, well, that's not really a meal. It is a meal, I mean, you can easily you get 40, 50 grams of cottage cheese. That's a meal. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter whether people typically think of it as side or something like that. It can be a meal, so take advantage of it.
Mhm.
All right, next one is tuna or salmon packets. These are great. You might have to get a couple of them to get up to 40 or 50 grams. But man, it's all packaged up. You can take it anywhere on the plane, at a theme park, wherever you want. Rip it open, eat it. You can just eat it by itself. So good by itself. Add a little crackers, avocado, put in a wrap, whatever. It is so easy to use. So great. No cooking, anything. High protein, you're done.
Easy.
Easy peasy. All right, and then I already kind of talked about this. We wrote on here egg salad, chicken salad. I already talked about that, but that is, I mean, egg salad. So I said tuna salad. I also use eggs sometimes. My same type of thing. I'll take cottage cheese, avocado, and I'll even tell you exact. Right now, I'm doing about 75 grams of cottage cheese. I do about 60 grams of avocado, and I'll put a whole can of tuna, or I'll but like a little bit less than half pound of ground chicken, or I'll put a couple eggs together, and it is one of the best, better than any kind of restaurant, man. I'm telling you, but package this up and sell it. All right, ground turkey, lean beef bowl. Now I'm not a huge turkey fan. I don't love ground turkey. I would rather use a ground chicken, but a lot of people like turkey and ground turkey. And again, you can get like 98% fat free type of thing. Lean beef bowl, that's one of my favorite. I know it's one of your favorites.
Hmm.
So tell us what you like to do in your beef bowl, because I know that that's one of your staples.
Talk about better than any restaurant. I'm telling you, beef and rice, like we were joking about how like, oh, no one wants to eat chicken rice every day. Like I've been eating beef and rice every day. Like I will never get it. It's so good. I will literally eat it cold at volleyball games. And then, like I'm like, this is amazing. I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but it's immaculate. But there's so many ways to do this, and so we wanted to leave this one a little bit more broad. But I tend to go to like one, I'll just do the standard like beef, rice, and veggies. So easy. I'll do like coconut aminos on the rice or soy sauce on the rice. Some sort of combo of that. You can switch with the veggies too, or I'll do a stir fry. So it's just like rice, veggies, some sort of chicken, or even some seafood or beef, and like just mix it into a stir fry with some sauce, a little bit of egg, or burger bowl. That's another one that I love. Like potato based, sweet potato, regular potato. Again, you can switch it up for variety. Some veggies. You can make like a homemade sauce or just throw in like some ketchup and salsa or whatever on there. So like there's so many options as far as base, as far as toppings, and the proteins that you're using. But it's like just throw together a bowl, and it takes 10 minutes to like prep meals for the week for that. Super, super easy.
Yeah, burger bowl is one of my favorite dishes. I love that, and I mean, it tastes so good. And like you said, you can do it so many different ways.
Hmm.
Another thing you can do if you're wanting something a little bit sweeter is adding a little bit of honey, a little bit of hot sauce, kind of do like the sweet hot thing, and it
Hmm.
tastes amazing in a burger bowl or ground beef and rice or something like that as well.
Yeah, possibilities are endless there. That is the go-to. Like I'll have some sort of variation of that, basically like for my lunch and dinners every single day. Like it's awesome. Another one, homemade high protein pizza. This is another super easy one that people don't think about. You can make a really solid high protein pizza in under 10 minutes if you keep things simple. I know you talked about in the past doing like chicken crust. So like that's another option too to get a shit ton of protein. But for me, what I tend to do is like I'll get a lavash wrap, which is high protein, or you can find some sort of flatbread or whatever you want for the crust. Throw on some sauce, some cheese, bunch of protein, whatever proteins you want. I'll usually do ground beef or chicken or something like that. And then whatever combos of toppings you want, throw on some veggies, throw on like I usually like doing a Greek style type of pizza. But again, like play with whatever you want. I usually have the meat already prepped, so literally I'll just take everything out, put it on there, put it in the oven for a couple minutes. Like everything's already cooked, and I'll just like melt the cheese. Good, super easy.
Yeah, and we're going back to the bowl idea. One thing I've been doing lately is taking like some ground beef or some ground chicken, and then what I'll do separately is I'll mix together a little bit of cottage cheese, a little bit of real like cheddar cheese with it, and then mix that up really well, and then I'll put that on top. I'll mix it in with my ground beef or my ground chicken, and then I'll top it with some like turkey pepperoni, and then I bake that for a little bit, and then it's
Mm.
kind of like a pizza bowl. So
Ooh,
good, so good. And
interesting.
super high in protein, yeah, and it does not take very long either at all.
Yeah, I think pizza, like everyone loves pizza, but it's like you can make one again in less than 10 minutes. That's 50 grams of protein. That's way healthier than anything you're gonna get at the store. And I'd argue way better than anything you're gonna get like from takeout or anything. It's like not greasy or like, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of pizza from takeout, but like I'll make it. I go on stints where I have it every single day for months, homemade pizza. So it's the move, especially if you're with someone that likes pizza.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm the opposite. I absolutely love pizza, but yeah, this definitely satisfies my pizza cravings. All right, so you probably heard me talk about Taco Tuesday, one of my favorite days of the week. You can do tacos in so many different ways, and I think a lot of times when I tell people Taco Tuesday, they think I make just crunchy shells like a traditional, like you go to a store and you buy a taco or something like that. But tacos can be made in a lot of different ways, right? And so you can use different types of beef, whether it be like ground beef or like turkey. You can use different types of tortillas. They have some really great low carb, low fat tortillas out there now that you can use, or wraps that you can use for that. A lot of times, what I'll do like a taco bowl. So
Mhm.
basically, I'll do everything except for like a taco shell or a wrap or anything like that. Use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. So very easy to get 45, 50 grams of protein, and it tastes delicious, and you can celebrate Taco Tuesday and feel good about it.
Yeah, this is another staple that I have. And again, it takes 5 minutes to throw together. Like I usually will have already have whatever meat I'm using. Like I have a great fish taco recipe that I love. It's like I'll already prep the fish. It's like you just throw it all together. That's literally it. You just put it on like I'll heat up the tortilla, put everything on there. Easy. And like so much protein, delicious. So really no excuses there. I think a lot of overall theme is the high protein meals don't need to be fancy. Sometimes it's taking the foods that you already like and structuring them a little bit differently. And like with all these recipes, there's so much different variety just based on the spices, the toppings, the bases, like all these different things that you can switch up and get more of that variety if you don't want to eat same beef and rice every day, even though it is bomb. But basically, it's just restructuring stuff. And the point of this episode is that you don't need to eat these exact meals. It's just to show you that it's not complicated to get in that much protein. I think a lot of people struggle with protein because they're thinking in terms of full meals instead of simple combinations like that. And so once you can start thinking this way, hitting your protein will become a lot easier.
Yeah, and the more you do this, the more consistent you are with making these meals, the easier it gets. The more you're able to play around with different ideas. And again, I was talking to another one of our clients. Shout out to Tim, and he was like, because we were talking about simplicity. I was like, we just got to make this much simpler. And he was like, I know. Sometimes I think I got to put this whole big meal together, and I'm like, you don't have to. Let's make it as super simple as possible, and you can have a delicious meal that doesn't take very long. You feel so much better eating it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys want more simple ideas, or if you want the exact recipes that we're talking about in here, we have a high protein recipe guide with super simple meals that help you hit your protein without spending hours of cooking. These are the realistic meals that we use with clients that we use ourselves. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes and share this with someone who needs some recipe ideas, need to hit their protein, and we will catch you guys in the next one.